Hello and welcome to part 2 of season 2 of this Project Cars career mode series that I'm doing. So in the previous video we qualified for the European Championships. So welcome to sunny Barcelona. I wouldn't mind being in Barcelona right now. We've qualified first on the grid, and yeah, this is race 1. Pretty good start. In fact, a very good start. Pulling away from everyone. So just going to do so this is the first lap of the Barcelona circuit. So this is not. So it is. It's the same location as the Grand Prix circuit, but slightly different layout. So slightly shorter, and that is missing the apex by quite a bit there. But quite a few high-speed corners and quite fun in these Formula Rookie cars. This is another sort of great high-speed chicane you can almost take flat out. You might even be able to take that flat out, but I don't. I'm sort of taking it easy. I seem to be quite a bit faster than the rest. Oh, someone diving down the inside there. Very. I broke very early, and I think I sort of learned to brake later as the race goes on. Almost tried it, but there's one corner coming up. So this sort of medium speed right-hander, and for some reason the AI, look at that, just dropped way back. So we make up about maybe even almost a second on them there every lap. So it really is just a case of keeping it very smooth, keeping it on the track, and bringing it home. There should not be any problems. So yeah, jumping ahead to lap 5, we haven't had any problems. We've got a 4-point-something second gap, and it looks like, unless we make some sort of horrendous mistake in the last 2 corners, which I'm going to just take very easy. Not aggressive on the curbs there really at all. And yeah, the European Championships off to a very good start and a race win and 30 points. Yeah, very pleased with that. Yeah, go over and clench fists at the pit crew at the side there. So that is John Nielsen, I think, coming in second. And in fact, our West Force teammate there in the 3rd. So this is looking good for West Force. Sorry, yeah, I haven't actually mentioned that. I'm driving for West Force Racing. And so onto the second race at Barcelona. We're in pole again. So things actually looking. We've set ourselves up really well for the championship. In fact, much like the way we set ourselves up for first championship, the British Championship. And you can see we've got the grids on some of the British tracks are a bit odd. They don't really give much of an advantage to being first, but we've got a big gap to second place on the grid. And obviously that's really going to help. A little glance to the right, pulling away from John Nielsen, and it's just a case of taking things very easy. He's not going to try anything. Oh, he did try something a little bit around the outside, but he backs out of it. And again, really not into that apex on the first lap. And tyres are not quite up to temperature yet. So trying to take more speed through that corner is a bit better. And getting into there nicely. This is quite smooth. We've opened up a little half-second on the pack and trying to brake as late as possible, and he does throw it up the inside and almost don't even. And once again, so the computer able to be very fast on entry, whereas we're just taking. And again, he's looking at the inside, but we shut that door. That's not happening. And pull out the gap on this corner a little bit sideways into there, but there's the sort of extra half second, a little over half second that we needed, and now we've got a nice gap. And if I can just keep this together, this would be such a good start to the championship. The track after this is Donington, where I'm not so fast, and it rains. So skipping ahead to the second lap, and we're on this long right-hander again, a bit wide there, but it doesn't really matter as long as we keep pointing in the right direction. And unbelievably, that in that corner where we make up all of our time, that there's absolutely no pressure on whatsoever. I take it sideways in an unrecoverable state, and I've gone from P1 to P16 in one corner, and leaked something like 30 points in a moment's mistake. So I think that was just not braking enough into that corner, and then having to turn as we were still braking, which these Formula Rookie cars should be teaching me never to do. A bit of a lock up. I'm really trying to hang it all out now and make up as much time as possible. I mean, at this point there's 4 laps left, right? And we can easily take sort of 6-7 cars in those 4 laps, and then P10 would not be that bad at all. P9, top 10 would be quite good. So it's just a case of not getting frustrated, not getting frustrated about the mistake, and a little nudge to Heiko Hedden, I believe that is. I'm going to throw it up the inside and he turns in, but we're already past. They're so slow in that corner. Take advantage of that there. And next up is Mikhail Lambert, I think. And so we're going to try and get in his slipstream, build up some acceleration, flick out. We're going to be hit. We're going to hit our limiter there, but I'm slightly disorientated and I brake at the wrong brake distance marker. Still try and make the corner, and Michael Lambert it dives in and hits us. He probably shouldn't have hit us, but can't really blame anyone else but myself for that. That is just a mistake, and I mean it all stems from the initial mistake, obviously. So really disappointing. I do trundle around this track and try and get the fastest lap, so we get a point for getting the fastest lap. But yeah, P16, obviously we can't do anything about the huge giant gap after 2 mistakes to the rest of the pack. And after such a good start in the first race to the championship, thrown it all away with silly mistakes, completely under no pressure in the second one. So we're gonna get a glimpse at the results here, and the fastest lap. The fastest lap was worth 1 point, which I do manage. So we're on 2 points from this race instead of the 1. I'm not really sure that was worth it. And the standings flash up here. Sorry, I didn't really display that for long enough. We're 23 points off first place with our teammate on 40 points, and he's 30 and 17 off or something. So this is Donington Park. Qualifying is very difficult. It starts raining, and the weather's always the same. So qualifying, it starts dry, and then it rains, and then it starts drying out, and then it starts raining again right at the end. So it's really, really difficult to get a decent run. Just fending off and just making as certain as possible that he doesn't try and throw it on the inside. We're going to brake him much earlier than the AI for this corner, but we can take a lot more speed through it and really get into the apex. That's really nice, and that gives us a nice little gap. Again, the AI really slow in some corners and really fast in others, so we know where we can make the time up. And this is actually going much better than expected. So we got a 1 decent lap in the qualifying, which means we qualified on pole for this race. And we did not manage to get another decent lap in at all, which means we'll probably be on last for the next race. So I basically know that I have to win this, and then the second race is in the rain, which is fun, but it does mean that there's quite a few cars off track and quite a lot of chaos happening. So if we can pick up a win here and then a top, I don't know, 8 or something, it puts us in a decent. It really depends on what everyone else does. So the AI very quick into that first corner. That's a sort of a very late apex, and you're braking, and you have to brake before you start turning in these Formula Rookies, 100%. And it's very difficult to brake late. The AI seem to brake very late. But this is actually going surprisingly well. We've got a nice gap. There's a nice cushion. There's absolutely. We can be slightly quicker than the AI without too much effort, so no one can put us under any pressure, and it's just a case of relaxing and trying not to make any mistakes. It's quite there's some very fast corners basically in this track, which means that the Formula Rookies, with their sort of lack of downforce, find them quite difficult. Or at least I find them quite difficult. They're not particularly stable through those fast corners, so it's a case of trying to drive it on the edge a bit more than on a track, say like Barcelona in the last track, where it's a proper. It's just easier. The corners are more straightforward. You can brake in a straight line and keep the power down through the corner, which makes the car much more stable. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Quite smooth so far. No kind of big moments. Coming up to this sort of blind corner, but you can take it quite quickly. You just have to get into the apex and then just wait for the apex, which is sort of marked by the tyre marks on the curb. This is tricky. That is an absolute blind corner, and the AI take a lot of speed through that, and I always go through it sort of slightly sideways, so it's a sort of a risky corner. But this is actually the first time that I've really learnt Donington on any kind of game, and yeah, it's not the full track. Obviously, there's a actually. So I think it's before that final chicane. There's an extra bit of track that gives you another hairpin, I think, and or a sort of very slow speed chicane. Nicely into that corner, and that's about the best I can take that corner actually. Oh, and a tyre on the grass. And once again, through no fault of the AI or anything, and we try to come back on the track, and the AI, I don't think there's any flags, or they pay attention to flags and they don't get out of my way. I try to come back on the track as gingerly as possible, but once again, and I think we get a nudge, or my car is broken, and once again we threw away an entire race and a race win in one corner. And I think these two tracks I just need to know sort of slightly better, possibly just get a bit more practice in on them. But that's sort of our hopes for the championship pretty much over, unfortunately. Even before the last race, we'll be well behind now. So yeah, back from Barcelona obviously, and to sunny Britain. You can actually see the sun's peeking through the clouds there a little bit, but it is raining, as it tends to do over here, and there's cars sort of swerving and trying to find a gap, and we get stuck behind someone. I haven't actually got the HUD on, and you can see how much speed that they take when they're on the grass. That really needs fixing, to be honest. They seem to be able to maintain speed off-road in ways that I absolutely cannot. But we're up to, I don't know, we must have taken and get a nudge from behind there, but somehow hold it together going sideways. We're up to P12 as I turn the HUD back on, and slightly off-road there, but let's throw it up the inside of that very high speed full speed corner. And this is very difficult. I'm not as good at driving in the rain as I am driving in the dry, and the AI is more challenging finding the wet. So we're going to try and he's going to throw it up the inside, and we're going to close the door. Evan Truber, I think, behind us, and we're trying to catch Nils Reckendries. Apologies for these terrible pronunciations if you're from any of the countries that these people are supposed to be from. Oh, sideways into there, but still carry a lot of speed, a bit off-road, but only out onto the dirt and mostly on the curb. And we're right up at the back of Nils now, and just again, it's really such a sort of knife edge balancing act, and not going to try and throw it up the inside of here. So yeah, you can see how little that he was able to brake, and then there's a few cars gone off road, and which means we're up to P7, which although we're sort of not really racing for anything, just pride at the moment, I guess. P7 would be actually really nice in the wet if we could hold this together. So a lot of pressure on this upcoming corner to brake as little as possible, and then to get into the apex. And we don't manage it, and sideways, and I try and correct it, but I'm not able to, and we lose 2 places. Yeah, it's. I guess I'm less frustrated by that kind of thing as in the dry. This is just very, very difficult. We are able to still make quite a big gain on them in that corner. And it looks like the sun's sort of starting to peek through. It might almost stop raining in a moment. Nicely through that corner, actually. Managed to keep it going straight and not sideways pretty well there. And going to try and actually take quite a lot of speed through that, but the acceleration that Chris, I don't know how to pronounce that, Chris Ugg, and again we're going to try and very sideways into there, but that's fine, and I might have given him a little tap there, apologies Ugg, and we've actually passed him just about. He is alongside of us. He's actually fully behind us, but he's going to throw it up the inside, and he's going to hit us, and that's really disappointing. That is, yeah, I think this AI needs tweaking, because, well, let's have a look at the replay. There's a nice little effect there, hope you appreciated that on the replay, and he takes himself out at the same time. Let's see that again. See, we give him enough room, and he's actually kind of lost it under braking, and is trying to correct the car, sort of locks the tyres up maybe, and has a little wiggle, and hits us, and this is I need some sort of sad music playing, or some sort of fade out of us sitting in the gravel. But that's the way that this season's ended. We actually, due to a bug, finished first in that race, because I exited out of it at a certain point with a certain cars on track. Again, it's just this game, it's a bit buggy, but that one's got an obvious workaround that we don't need to do that. But we can see that, in fact, finishing first wouldn't have made any difference, because the winner there with 99 points. So that brings to a close season 2. I'll try and keep doing these. If you do enjoy them, please sort of leave a like or say or something, and that'll give me more encouragement. But yeah, thanks for watching.